ago, in a peaceful African village, surrounded by tall palm trees and flowing rivers, there lived two sisters, but their hearts were not the same. Grace, the elder sister, was loved by everyone. She was gentle, kind, and beautiful. Her smile could melt even the hardest heart, and her voice was soft like the morning breeze. Grace was married to Tony, a hard-working man who loved her deeply. Their love was the kind that people admired and prayed for. Together they had a little boy, Jamal. He was their treasure. His laughter sounded like bells, and he filled their small mud brick home with joy. Every evening, the family sat outside. Grace cooked warm meals, Tony told stories, and Jamal laughed as he played with little stones. Their home was filled with peace, laughter, and love. But not everyone was happy. In the shadows, Grace's stepsister, Sugar, and her mother watched with jealousy. Sugar was beautiful too, but her heart carried envy. Every time she saw Tony smile at Grace, it hurt her. Every time she heard Jamal call his mother Mama, it felt like a knife cutting her heart. Her mother often whispered, "Look at Grace. She has everything: love, respect, and a family. And what about us? We are forgotten. She shines while we live in her shadow." Those words planted seeds of bitterness in Sugar's heart. Slowly, her love for Grace turned into hatred. She began to dream of replacing her sister, to have Tony for herself, to take over Grace's place. But in the daytime, she hid her heart. She smiled at Grace, played with Jamal, and pretended to be a caring sister. To the villagers, Sugar looked like family, but in her heart, she waited for the day she could strike. One cool evening, Sugar appeared at Grace's house with tears in her eyes. "Sister, please come with me. I need your help. It's urgent," she said, breathing heavily. Grace, with her pure heart, believed her. She wiped her hands on her wrapper and told Tony, "I'll be back soon." "Don't stay too long," Tony said gently. Grace followed Sugar into the night. They walked past the farms, past the tall trees, until they reached the forest's edge. "Sugar, why are we here?" Grace asked. Before she could get an answer, Sugar pulled out a small bottle. Her face no longer carried kindness, it carried anger. In one swift move, Sugar poured the strange liquid on Grace. Grace screamed so loudly that birds flew from the trees. She fell to the ground, shaking in pain. From the shadows, Sugar's mother stepped out. Together, they dragged Grace deeper into the forest. "Let the earth swallow you," her mother whispered coldly. "Nobody will ever remember your beauty again." They left her there, weak and alone. When Sugar and her mother returned home that night, Tony was waiting outside. His eyes searched behind them. "Where is Grace? She followed you. Where is my wife?" Sugar's heart raced, but her mother gave her a warning look. Sugar lowered her head and began to cry. "Brother-in-law, it was terrible. Grace, she slipped near the river. We tried to save her, but the waters carried her away." Tony's face went pale. "No, that cannot be." Her mother stepped forward, sighing heavily. "We called her name, we searched, but the river was too strong. She is gone." Tony broke down, crying like a man with no hope. That night, the villagers gathered by the river bank with torches and lamps. They searched, but they found nothing. Some whispered that the river gods had taken her. Others said it was destiny. Sugar and her mother cried louder than everyone else, pretending to mourn. But inside, their hearts were dancing. Their lie had worked. Everyone believed Grace was dead. Tony's world fell apart. His house, once full of laughter, became cold and empty. Every night, Jamal cried
calling, "Mama, Mama," but she never came. Tony held his son, tears streaming down his face. Sugar began visiting more often. She cooked in Grace's kitchen, she wore Grace's clothes, she smiled at Tony in ways that showed she wanted to take her sister's place. Some villagers whispered, but nobody dared to speak out. Sugar believed she had won. But what nobody knew was this: Grace was not dead. That same night, as Grace lay weak in the forest, an old herbalist named Papa Nana was gathering herbs. He heard her faint cry and followed the sound until he saw her lying on the ground. "Oh, child, what evil has been done to you?" he murmured. He carried her gently to his hut and treated her with herbs. Days turned to weeks. Grace could not walk and her face carried deep scars, but she was alive. Every night she whispered, "My husband, my son, they think I am gone. One day I will return. One day the truth will be told." Months passed. Life in the village moved on. One day, the sound of drums filled the air. It was the annual festival. People danced and sang. Children laughed as masquerades entertained the crowd. Sugar was there, standing proudly beside Tony as if she already owned him. She wore Grace's wrapper and smiled at Jamal, pretending to be a mother. Then suddenly, the music stopped. All eyes turned as a woman dressed in white walked slowly into the village square. Her face carried scars, but her eyes burned with life. Gasps filled the air. "Ghost!" some shouted. Others fell to their knees in fear. Tony's lips trembled. "Grace, is it you?" Jamal's little eyes widened. He broke free from the crowd, ran forward, and shouted, "Mama, Mama!" He clung to her tightly. Grace bent down, hugging him with tears in her eyes. "It is me," she said softly. "I am alive, and tonight the truth must be told." The elders gathered. The crowd fell silent. Grace stood in front of everyone and told her story. How Sugar had tricked her, how she was left in the forest, and how Papa Nana had saved her life. The crowd gasped, turning to Sugar and her mother. Their lies had been exposed. Suddenly, Sugar's mother shook and fell to the ground. Her strength failed her. With her last breath, she confessed, "It was us. We did it. We could not stand her light." Then she was gone. Sugar dropped to her knees, crying loudly. "Please forgive me, Grace. I was wrong. I let jealousy destroy me. Please, don't let them cast me out." The whole village waited. Some expected Grace to demand punishment. Others whispered for revenge. Grace looked at Sugar for a long time. Her heart was heavy, but she spoke calmly. "I forgive you, but forgiveness does not erase the truth. You cannot remain here among us." The elders agreed. Sugar was banished from the village. Crying, she disappeared into the forest, her voice fading away. Grace went home with Tony and Jamal. Though her face carried scars, her heart was stronger than ever. Tony held her hand, promising never to let her go again. Jamal followed her everywhere, not wanting to lose her once more. The villagers respected her deeply. She became a light to everyone, teaching one powerful lesson: jealousy destroys, but forgiveness heals. And from that day, Grace's story lived on, a warning and a guide for generations.